So actually I'm gonna let this run the whole time because part of this experiment is I want to partner with all my awesome friends who are fantastic chefs, and we're gonna just start doing this Freedomnomnom notion, rustic cooking, sort of whole food cooking and all of that. So I'm gonna be having guests who come in. This is genuinely like the first time, I'm just checking it out. But one of the conditions for doing this was we can't make too much work for ourselves, so we want to just have it roll. So that's what I'm gonna do. So welcome to Freedomnomnom. This will be my cooking attempts here, and I am going to make us Fiddlehead and Foraged black garlic scapes pesto. That's gonna go with a steak and some roasted sweet potato that I make in the oven, and these sort of thick slices. The goal, of course, is always to show you guys that cooking is not hard. I only learned to do it in my 20s. I did grow up in a cooking home. My parents were both pretty good cooks. And you can cook food for not that expensive, and for under 30 minutes. It's a great way to unite your family. And it's a great way to keep everyone healthy by eating right. So I'm gonna switch the kettle on. I'm gonna disappear for a hot sec. I'm washing some stuff. This is just how it's gonna go. We'll figure it out and perfect it as time goes on. Because do not let perfect be the enemy of good, or good enough-ish, okay? All right, so I'll put the kettle on. We're gonna blanch these fiddleheads, by the way, because they are poisonous unless you do that. So what we do when we're blanching something, as my mom would always explain it to me, is jy maak hulle net 'n klein bietjie skrik. And that is Afrikaans for you're just gonna shock them pretty much with the hot water, and then you're gonna shock them again with the ice. And the ice, of course, stops the cooking. But I haven't had these in a really long time. I think they're gonna work in the pesto. It may be a disaster. All right, now I'm gonna get us some cooking trays out. We're gonna use this to do the sweet potatoes. I am going to turn the oven on. I usually do that at about, I do 375 to start. Basically with the sweet potato, I'm just gonna cut them into, like nice sized little rings. And then we spray them with some cooking spray and some herbs, and it's really easy. The way I cook is the easier, the better, the tastier, simple, good, whole foods. And all right, so let's set this up quick. Wash these quick. I think one's probably enough for us. These are pretty big. All right, so I'm only gonna make one of those. I'll wash this. And you'll see over here, these are the washed scapes the black garlic scapes. I don't really know what it's called. I should have looked it up in my notes before I started this. But these are the things we'll learn, and then we'll get better. All right, so I like to cut these in about 1 inch little rings. I make sweet potato stacks. We're just going to, and also you will be horrified over time at my knife skills. They're very bad. But we can't all be good at everything, and I'm not good at that. I'm hoping that one of the guests I get on the show can teach me how to do it right. But I suspect that ship has sailed for me. But, again, play to our strengths and don't let shit hold you back. That's what I say. All right, so what we got here? I'm gonna do avocado spray. Actually, I'm gonna do coconut oil spray. So these sprays are really awesome. I just use them for around the house. I like to spray it on here, and then I'm gonna salt and pepper. Always in my house, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And then right, I gotta put my little lady glasses on so you guys can see here, but you know, we're just doing a little bit of garlic powder and everything. Do a pepper. And then I'm gonna do rosemary and thyme, I think, maybe, and maybe a little ground cinnamon. Why not? Maybe some. Actually, I might go with these warm flavors and leave the herbs off. So if we do cinnamon with a little ginger, maybe. This has gone in a whole different direction, which is always how things go in my kitchen. But you know, simple, easy, healthy food. All right, maybe I'll do some thyme. So I'm actually going to do this exact same thing on the other side. I like to kind of push it around so we can get some of that extra oil going. These are all obviously professional grade techniques you see here. All right, so salt, pepper, a little ginger, ground ginger, a little ground cinnamon. The oven's on 375. I'm gonna kick that up. I usually put them in for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what else is happening and how behind I am with other stuff. Okay. I think that's gonna work for now. What do? We did some thyme, right? So I'll do some thyme on the other side. I'm gonna spray the tops of these again with some oil. And into the oven these go. I will set the timer for about, I'm gonna start with 45 minutes. My oven isn't totally preheated, so I'll just kind of let that bake in there. Now we are going to take a look at chopping these fiddleheads. Again, for those of you just tuning in, fiddleheads are poisonous. So you likely don't want to kill your friends if they come over. So I'm just going to throw this in here and blanch them with some salt. You know, just a handful of salt that goes right in there. This, and of course some hot water over this. That is how you blanch something. I'm going to give it about 2 minutes on my bottom timer here. Just let those guys hang out there for a couple of minutes. All right, now we are going to get our food processor, and I need to toast the pine nuts. So while this is just sitting there, I'm going to go get some pine nuts. Okay, so usually when I make a pesto, I will make it with toasted pine nuts. I just remembered though that I did toast some walnuts earlier in the week. So I might actually use those simply because they're there, it's already taken care of, just a little less work on a Sunday. All right, so these guys are hanging out. Get the food processor set up. I'm gonna do, it's not a lot. Okay, let's do this one. Again, not sure if I have Parmesan, which is going to be a problem, but we'll make it work because that's what we're doing. As it is in Carla's Keto Kitchen, half planned, and I don't have Parmesan cheese. So this means I either call the neighbors, which I might actually do, or I will hack it. I think I'm gonna make a walnut, toasted pine nut, maybe roasted garlicky something. Anyway, we'll make it work. I'm gonna throw these out. They've blanched for about 2 minutes, and get the rest of this on the road. Tastes very, I'm gonna leave them in for maybe like another minute or two. So these fiddleheads, they are basically little ferns basically, and they grow in New Hampshire. They are local to the area. They only come out for a few weeks. So if you see them in a store, you of course want to grab them. They have a very it's a very earthy, almost young asparagus flavor with, I don't know, they're kind of yummy. The middle part's a little bitter. There's a little bitterness. Hopefully that's not the poisonous part that I haven't cooked long enough. We shall see. Maybe I'll be the first person to die on a YouTube food panel. Ooh, that's a piece of dirt. All right, then as I said, over here, this is the stuff I foraged this morning over maybe like 10 minutes from the house, 5 minutes from the house, honestly. And I'm gonna put all of this, I'm gonna leave the long stems and just kind of do, let's get a blade going here. Okay, so we want our chopper blade, the zoom, 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 zoom one. Put that in there. Okay. You know what? Okay, let's taste one of these too. So I always like to taste like the stem. I'll give you like a really intense flavor. And then also taste the leaves. So the leaves are definitely the more garlicky kind of side of this. So I'm gonna do more of the leaves. Less of the stems. We want to get that pine nut going too, I guess. So with pine nuts, I usually do it on this small plate. Temps about between 3 and 4. I might start it on 4 when it gets warm. Pine nuts, like, what's the saying? A watch pot never boils. Well, watch pine nuts always burn. Watch nuts, like anything like that's like nutty related, you gotta keep an eye on it or that shit'll go pear-shaped fast. Okay. So, you know, like a little pan full of pine nuts. The plate's on. I'm just gonna let that go. Since I am a stoner cooker, I do like to put timers on so that I don't totally screw it up. So I'm just gonna put this on 5 minutes, just to kind of remind me that there's something going on that I got to keep an eye on. But we'll let that go. All right, then we got these going in here. Put all of that in. This one looks like it might be like too big. Anyway. Okay, so put the rest of this in. Gonna grab the rest of those fiddles. Okay, pouring those out. Just literally poured them out like this. They were in a little steamer. Check if I have any ice cubes. Got a few left over here from the last party. So ice cubes from the last party. Just literally putting that on top so that it will keep it from overcooking. Alright, so we put the timer on. on because... So all this is kind of doing its due here, and we got the timer so that we don't totally forget about it. I am going to prep the steak, and that is going to be part of Louie's job today. So Louie, my husband, will be doing the grilling. I like to save the blood in the packet for my doggy. You know, I share the love. So these are, as I mentioned, grass-fed ribeyes. There's not that much blood in it. We have our new cow coming from Bardo Farm here in New Hampshire. They are a fantastic off-the-grid farm. Their produce is incredible. I've been using it for many years. I buy my pork and my chicken and my beef and sometimes my lamb. They just started lamb from there. But I have a fantastic lamb lady in Goffstown as well. So, you know, I'll take it wherever I can get it. We South Africans really do love lamb. And I'm kind of sad that it seems like Americans are cottoning on to that. Alright, so I got this for the puppy dog. I should shake this around a little. Wash my hands. I just handled some meat. Okay, so these are starting to toast, just very slightly. So you want to start to keep like a bit of an eye on it, but we're on 3. I'm going to turn it down to 3 just so I don't screw it up. Okay, so now with the meat, you always want your meat to be dry, or at least that's what I was taught. Especially if you're, I mean, it's less important when it's out on the grill, but if you're making it at home, I use my cast iron pots and skillets, and if you want a nice hard sear on it, which is that nice little crust on the outside, you do want to make sure that you are patting them dry before the time. These are beautifully marbleized. As you can see, this is some nice fatty meat. This fat, contrary to what people have taught you, is good for you. It's good for your brain. It's good for... see how quickly I told you that burn like, you know. Gotta keep an eye. Keep an eye on the fly. Okay, so I'll let these sit here for just another. So I'll take them off the heat, but do you see how they're nicely toasted? You do have to watch these little buggers. Miss Nellie came in. She is enjoying her blood down there. Okay, stove's off. I'm just going to put this off to the side for right now. While we figure out these fiddleheads. And I'm going to tell Louie to put on the grill. Okay. Okay. Let's do my composting, which we throw in the garden. All right, these guys are now, oh yeah, so now we got our fiddleheads back. They're nice, stayed nice and green. That's of course the other thing that happens is if you blanch something and then you shock it, it also helps retain the color. So if you have asparagus or even spinach, you can like make it and then hit it with some ice and it should stay this nice green color. So I'm gonna throw these. It's gonna be some kind of fresh pesto this. All right. So, okay. Always, everything gets well seasoned in my house. We got salt, we got pepper. Alright, I'm going to do the meat while I'm here too. So one side salt and pepper. Garlic powder. So people are basically just going to discover that in my kitchen is cooked with 3 things. And love. Always with some love. That makes it Alright, so in this crazy world we live in that is now prepped, this could sit here. I'm going to go call Mr. Lou, tell him to put the grill on. I'll be right back. Hey, babe? Louie? All right. My darling husband is going to put the grill on, so we're going to check in on the rest of this pesto. I kind of feel like we might want to give... I'm just going to take the pan that we just did the pine nuts in, and this plate's still a little warm. I think I am going to roast just a little bit of garlic and some olive oil to add to that to really just enhance the flavors of these beautiful, fresh, herbaceous yumminess. So let's do that. It's too early in the season for me to have real whole garlic. Well, I guess I could have it. I don't have it right now, so cut me some slack. We're doing it with out of the can cut garlic. I'm sure that's a Neanderthal fucking chefy no-no, but there you have it. I think about a teaspoon of garlic will just be good. I put in a fair amount of oil here because I do want it to go into the pesto anyway. So this is going to sizzle up here quick. Give that a nice roasted flavor. Got me a little bit of lemon. So we would definitely just, not overcook this, and I really even wanted that brown, just kind of fragrant, and some lemon juice for the pesto as well. Alright, I didn't put all the pine nuts in yet. I'm just not convinced. I'll put some of these toasted walnuts. Maybe like half of that. Maybe 2 or 3 handfuls, I guess. Gotta always taste them. So walnuts are really good for you. All that high. Good fat. Alright, pour that right in there. we are going to pulse this. First we're going to plug it in because that part's crucial. And then we want to slowly drizzle in just a little bit of olive oil. See how that goes. Oh, getting pretty solid. Okay. Definitely needs more lemon juice. I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like currently. So I'll do another pulsing in a sec, but see, I just pulsed it a few times. I'll put in more olive oil as well. I think it's going to need more pine nuts. It's definitely it's actually quite tasty, but it is, it needs some love. All right, let me think a little. It needs more salt. I think it needs more garlic actually, so I might add just a little garlic powder. Maybe like so. I think it needs all the pine nuts, so we'll do that. A little more lemon. And then more salt. Alright, let's see what happens. Actually, it does need. I'm going to do some of this fine black pepper. And then let's give this another whirly-gig over here. Yeah, okay. Not that much oil. Maybe a teaspoon, teaspoon and a half, 2. And now we have it in this nice sort of pesto consistency. So I think I'm going to give that one more whirl, and then I think it's probably good to go. Let's taste it again. So it's definitely got a pine nut, but a very herbaceous, very yummy. Well, I'm gonna have to work on my food words. Just delicious, kind of planty, earthy, herby, green, nutty taste, I guess. With that little note of acid at the back. Excuse me, don't do that. When you're cooking for guests. But yeah, I think this is probably good to go. I like to not make extra things dirty, so the pine nuts are just in this. I'm just going to put this right in there. All right, let me give it one more whirl. Just a dash more. All right, I think that's it. Of course, technically not a perfect pesto because it does not have the parmesan, but it does have pine nuts, walnuts, fiddleheads that were blanched so that I don't kill anyone, plus some beautiful foraged local garlic, black garlic leaves or something. I don't know, I'll look it up. So this will go on top of the steak. And then we have those sweet potato wedges, rounds, baking in the oven. And that is that for this week's edition of Freedom Nom Nom. I hope you'll join me again soon. Talk to you soon. Peace out.